Along the path we parted ways. I walk the night, you tread the day, and we forgot we slept in knots all on the sunset coast. We shared our meals, we shared our songs, by candlelight or by the sun. I know you've sung 1,000 more, oh, since the time you've gone.
Hello everyone, this is Chad Redding here with Ruck Rabbit Outdoors. I'm out here today on this early summer day here in Michaud State Forest, my normal haunt. And I was just out exploring the trails today, and I thought I would take the time to do an equipment video. And everybody loves equipment videos. So what I'm going to concentrate on today is what I am using right now for a day hike, or a scout hike, if I'm scouting for a campsite, or I'm just out exploring the area, or I'm actually out recording for the Strange Familiars podcast, what I'm currently using. When I first started my journey into woodscraft, woods lore, bushcraft, whatever you want to call it, like most other woods folk, I started out heavily with military surplus. And that was because it was cheap, it was very reliable, it got the job done, and seriously, I like the stuff. I still use a lot of military surplus now. There's still some in my kit, but as I've gone through my journey, as time has progressed, and I kind of developed my own style, or how I do things has changed, my kit has changed. So that happens with a lot of different people. So I figured I'd show what I'm currently using. I've kind of leaned more towards what they call quote unquote traditional style. And that means I'm using more canvas, I'm using more leather, there's more wood in my gear, antler, stuff like that. But the stuff I'm using also has a modern twinge to it. So it would be more like traditional gear moved forward in time to this time, to fit the modern woodsman. Because what we do now is not the same what our forebears do. It's different, you know, it's changed. So I don't know if you want to call this a belt kit video, or if you want to call this just a day hiking kit video, but I'm just going to call it just scouting / day hiking kit video for my purposes. So what I have on me now, what I've been using, my main piece is this Haversack. What I was using up to this point was a Finnish marking bag, which was a piece of military kit from Finland. Really nice bag. It's a Haversack style, has a belt with it. I still like that bag. I still have it. It's still a part of my kit. It still carries a lot of my stuff. It's more compartmentalized than what I'm currently using. What I'm using now is this Haversack here. And I'll move a little closer here so you guys can see it. And this is the Haversack from Opossum Pouch Soft Goods, made by a gentleman, which I've mentioned in other videos, J. Hercules. His shop is located in Wheeling, West Virginia, and his website is oppossumpouch.com. Now, I'm not one who used a traditional Haversack that was all one bag. I did like the fact that the Finnish marking bag was more compartmentalized. But I got this from Jay, and I figured I'd give it a shot, and I really, really like it. Some of the Haversacks that guys carry are huge, and I don't like gigantic Haversacks. I don't go out with a Haversack to overnight with. Some people do that. They'll put like a tarp on the bottom of their Haversack, and that's what they like to do. That's not me. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to use a pack. And like I said, what I'm showing is for me personally. Some people, what they use is different, and there's no right or wrong way to use this stuff. This is just what I use. So when I take a haversack, I prefer it more for as an addition to my pack or my main carry for the day. So I always typically use a haversack when I go out on an overnight or a multi-day trip. And usually what's in my haversack is stuff I want to access right away. I don't want to have to take my pack off to get to, such as my canteen, my basic fire kit, and I'll usually also have like maybe some day food in there that I want to get to as I'm hiking in. And also my recorder. I always carry my audio recorder because, you know, we're out in the woods, strange stuff happens, and it's always good to have the audio recorder. So that's what I'll typically have in my haversack. I also will usually have my pistol if I'm carrying a pistol with me. If I feel that I need to carry one, that's where it'll be so I can access it. Because when wearing a pack, I found it's hard to have the pistol in spots that I can access. I'm not one for a chest rig. So for me, that's where my pistol usually goes. Now today I don't have a pistol, but that's where I'll usually put it. So this one has the traditional one big opening with the ability to put stuff in the top flap. What I like about it is it seems, for me, it's just the right size. It's not too big, it's not too small. Little butterfly flying by. And it's comfortable, very, very comfortable. My problem with haversacks is a lot of times they swing back and forth. I don't know what it is with this one. I don't know if it's the way it's cut or the positioning of the shoulder strap, but it doesn't move at all. It doesn't. It sticks to my side. It conforms, at least to me, to my body. So it's really a nice piece. It has this leather shoulder strap with this really generous, you know, leather pad, I guess you could say, and it's very comfortable. I mean, the leather is soft. It's just the right width, at least for me. It's just the right, the little padding here is just right. I mean, it's a super comfortable piece. One thing I like about this one is it's very adaptable compared to other haversacks. It actually has D-rings at each corner. I don't know if you can see that. But what's cool about that is if I wanted to, I could put backpack straps in this thing. It also has a carry at the top, carry strap, so if I want to grab it. But yeah, I like that about it. The orange is cool in the back also for signaling, so if I get in trouble, I can actually use it for signaling. I haven't tried it yet, but during hunting season, if I'm carrying a pack, because most of my packs are brown, I will literally put this on the outside and use it for signaling to cover my pack, so I have orange when I'm showing whether I'm hiking, just hiking, or going into a camping area during hunting season, or if I'm actually hunting itself. I want to be seen when my fellow woodsmen are out there hunting for their meals. I don't want to get shot. So unlike most people, I don't mind being seen out here. If something happens, especially like I'm out here by myself today, I want to be able to be seen and be found. So I think that's a really nice little addition he has. And also with the orange, when you open the haversack up, you can actually see it kind of glows up on the inside. And I think that's a nice little feature. Like I said, you can carry stuff in the top flap. There's actually a little space in here. I currently have my leather gloves and my headlamp in there. Yes, even though it's early afternoon, I still have a headlamp with me because you never know. Plus also, this is my main bag that I take with me when we're doing research and investigations in spots. So I always usually have a headlamp in there. My loadout that goes in the haversack changes depending on what I'm doing, whether I'm investigating. Headlamps usually in there. I always usually have my leather gloves. I always take my leather gloves with me in the woods. You never know. And I usually will have a saw, a small saw. I don't have a gomboy yet, So I've just carried my good old Baco in there. In there today, I have some food, and I actually have a Gore-Tex jacket that you can fold up into its own little carry zipper, little pouch. You stuff it into the pouch and zip it closed. There's a lot of different kinds. Mine happens to be a piece of military surplus, so it's a woodland Gore-Tex jacket. It all fits in there. I have my canteen in there with my canteen cup. I'll usually carry my stove if I plan on cooking, but I'm not cooking. I also will have some like a ferro rod or something like that, but today I'm not planning on cooking out here. I have a lighter with me, and I have some other things in there for emergency purposes. So that's pretty much what my main carry, like I guess you could say my main bag on my scouting setup. The rest of my setup is on this belt here, and it's actually a heavy belt that I got from Stitched Gear Outfitters. It's very heavy. It's very durable. I've had this belt for a number of years. It's incredibly tough. I use it as an overbelt, and that's the basis for the rest of my kit. So I guess you could say the rest is kind of a belt kit. There are two pieces that are on this belt at all times, whether it's this time of year, basically all seasons. There is another piece that I don't carry. It just depends on if I carry that particular piece of equipment. But what is on there now is this little expanding foraging pouch, and this is also by Jay. It's the foraging poke, I think he calls it. It's basically a foraging pouch. You undo the paracord here. There's a little I switched it to antler, but there's a little toggle here. If you can see, I think I actually did a video just on this little foraging unit. Opens up, and then you have this big pouch drops down, and I found it's great for foraging, great for gathering tinder. So it's a nice piece to have. And if for some reason I need extra space and it won't fit in my haversack, I can put stuff in there. So that's there ready to go and available if I need it. The next piece that is on my overbelt is this leather pouch, and this is also by Stitched Gear Outfitters. I've had this pouch for a long time. If you look at a lot of pictures, you'll see this is always on my side, and it's just a really nice leather, I guess you could say possibles pouch. Has this deer antler toggle, which kind of goes with the rest of my gear. I switched out the paracord to red because most of my gear has red paracord, and you just basically open it up. There's another little slide close with more paracord, and then it's just really open. I don't know if you can see. I got sound equipment in there right now, so that loadout changes also depending on what I'm doing. Typically what's in there is my fire kit, my main fire kit. I'll have a ferro rod, flint and steel, and also I'll have a tinder pouch, a waxed leather tinder pouch. That's typically what's in here, but for this trip I needed something to carry my recorder and my tripods and all that stuff to be able to make this video and all that, and this just fits the bill. My recorder will also be in here if it's not in my haversack, so I use that a lot, but this is always on my belt, always there. It's a good size pouch. It's really comfortable. The leather is super durable. This has been all kinds of weather, and it's held up really well. So I can't say enough about J. Hercules and Opossum Pouch Soft Goods, his stuff, and Stitched Gear Outfitters and their leather work. They make some fantastic leather work. The other thing that I add to my belt kit or to my scouting kit is if I feel I need a small axe or hatchet, so think hatchet or belt axe, such as the Gramster's Brooks outdoor axe, I'll add a carrier for my axe. I mean, basically, it's just a run-of-the-mill vanilla loop that goes around my belt, and I'll have a loop and I'll just drop the axe through there, and of course the axe has a sheath. So that's the other thing that I'll add in addition to my belt. Once in a blue moon, my knife will be on my belt, but usually I have my knife on my belt loop of my pants with a castrum D-ring and the sheath. So today I'm actually using a prototype knife made by Tom T.D. Cusack. It will be eventually available in Ruck Rabbit Outdoors, and that's this knife here. And that is, believe it or not, the Michaud Forest knife. So this is a prototype. It's one I've been using for a while. I've been testing it, and it's a really nice piece. So that, in addition to a walking stick, I always have a walking stick, is pretty much my day kit. So that's what I will carry if I'm going on a day trip, like I said, if I'm just taking a short hike, if I'm going on a research investigation for strange familiars. That's pretty much what I use currently. No more military surplus, really, other than my coat. I'll usually, anything that's part of a military surplus, I'll usually will have a poncho, a military poncho. That's a lot of what I'm currently using military surplus wise. That doesn't mean that this is good for everyone. This is just currently what I use. I find it lightweight. On weather like this, when it's really hot, it's nice just to have the Haversack. It's not so hot, and you know, it's not as, you know, you don't have that pack hanging on you. Your back's not sweating, so it's great for that. So this, like I said, this typically will also, if I'm going to do a multi-day trip or just an overnight, I'll add a pack with my shelter. My stove might get added to this or in my pack, and food and my sleeping gear and all that. So this, with the addition of my pack, which usually if I'm doing that, I'll have a bigger saw, and I could pretty much get everything done that I need to do. So, you know, that's pretty much it. I just figured I'd share that with you guys, and you know, until next time, you know, I'll see you out here in the woods, and get out. You know, we're getting into summer. The bugs are bad now. That's the only bad side. But other than that, get out, do what you got to do out here, and you know, enjoy the great outdoors. So until next time, fair weather and safe journeys. Oh, and if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and share. So until next time, once again, fair weather and safe journeys.
So it is, you've flown away, my friend, I think on you today. I hope sometimes you sing my songs all on the sunset coast.